Hello, my friend. I'm really glad you're here today. Because this conversation, well, it's not just about aging. It's about freedom. And not the kind of freedom we used to chase when we were younger. I'm talking about the kind that shows up quietly in your 60s, your 70s, and beyond. The kind that comes when you finally realize you don't have to carry so much anymore. After 60, life begins to shift, not in a sad way, in a powerful way. It's no longer about adding more to your plate. It's about letting go of what no longer feeds your spirit. And sometimes that means saying goodbye to habits, fears, expectations, even parts of ourselves that we've outgrown. So today, I want to gently share 6 things that I believe every wise woman over 60 has full permission to let go of. Not because she's giving up, but because she's waking up. Because there's peace waiting on the other side of release. Because the lighter you travel, the further your soul can go. So, let's talk. Heart to heart. Just you and me. 6 things to let go of after 60. For a freer, simpler, and more fulfilling life. 1. Let go of the need for permission. Somewhere around the age of 60, or maybe 62, something strange and wonderful begins to happen. You become a little less visible to the outside world. People stop watching so closely. You might walk through the grocery store, and no one really notices what you're wearing. You could try something new, maybe painting, dancing, or even singing, and no one raises an eyebrow. At first, it can feel like a loss. You might wonder, do I still matter? Is anyone even paying attention anymore? But if you look at it closely, it is not a loss. It is a gift. Because when nobody is watching, nobody is judging. And that means, for the first time in your life, you can finally do whatever you want without worrying about what anyone thinks. You can live without permission. Think about how much of your life has been shaped by approval. You raised children with one eye on what other mothers were doing. You built a career while walking the tightrope between confidence and caution. You managed your home, your relationships, and your appearance with constant awareness of how others might view you, your family, your community, even strangers. It's exhausting, isn't it? But now you are free. You have earned the right to live unedited. You no longer need permission to rest. You no longer need permission to try something and fail. You no longer need permission to say no or yes or maybe. You are the one giving the permission now, and you are allowed to give it freely without guilt. This is the season of boldness, but not the loud, flashy kind. It is a quiet, grounded boldness that comes from within. It is the boldness to try something you always dreamed of, even if it makes no sense to anyone else. It is the boldness to begin again, to start over, to begin something small that means something big to you. Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's learning to play the piano. Maybe it's writing stories or taking solo trips or learning to speak Italian just because you love the way the words sound. And the beauty is, if anyone does notice, they usually don't know what to make of it. They smile politely, maybe even condescendingly. But let them. Let them smile and move on. Because while they are amused, you are alive. There is a quiet kind of joy in realizing you are no longer performing for anyone. You do not have to fit into a mold or impress a boss, or maintain a reputation. You are free to be messy, creative, curious, playful, even silly. You can screw up gloriously and laugh about it. You can do things that make you feel alive, not because they are impressive, but because they are yours. So let go of the idea that you need permission. From your family, from your friends, from the younger version of yourself that thought she had to be perfect. You are not here to follow rules anymore. You are here to write your own. You are here to live with joy, not approval. And the more you give yourself that freedom, the more the rest of your life opens up like a blooming flower. unbothered by who is watching, and fully alive in the sunlight. 2. Let go of too much stuff. Let's talk about stuff. Not the meaningful kind. Not love, not stories, not experiences. I mean physical stuff. The clothes in your closet you haven't worn in years. The boxes in the attic. The serving dishes for a family gathering that no longer happens. The furniture that no longer fits your life. The books you meant to read, and maybe still will, but probably not. Many of us grew up believing that owning things was a sign of success. A full house meant a full life. We collected, we stored, we saved, just in case. And then, before we knew it, the things we owned began to own us. It starts slowly. A few sentimental items become a storage unit. A forever home becomes too much house. You walk past the guest room that no one has stayed in for months. You keep paying bills for square footage that is no longer serving your needs. And yet, when someone suggests downsizing or decluttering, your chest tightens. It feels too hard, too final, too emotional. I understand that. Truly, I do. Letting go of physical things often means facing emotional ones. Each object has a memory attached. The wedding china, the holiday decorations, the antique dresser from your mother's bedroom. It is hard, but it is not just about the item. It is about the life you are living now and the one you still have time to create. Ask yourself gently, does this still bring me joy? Do I even like this? If I moved tomorrow, would I take it with me? And here's something that might sting a little, but needs to be said. Your kids probably do not want most of your things. They have their own taste, their own homes, and they are trying to simplify too. That does not mean they do not love you. It means they are learning what many of us are just now discovering, that freedom is lighter than furniture. Think about how your space would feel with less in it. Think about what it would be like to walk into a home that holds only what you use, what you love, and what brings you peace. No clutter, no guilt, no obligation to keep things you no longer need. You are not throwing away memories. You are making space for new ones. You are not erasing history. You are choosing what parts of it you want to carry forward. You are releasing yourself from the weight of maintaining a museum when what you truly want is a sanctuary. Letting go of stuff is not about becoming a minimalist. It is about becoming more you. And you, in this season of life, deserve room to breathe, room to move, room to rest. Because at the end of the day, your legacy will not be measured in how much you kept. It will be felt in how much you lived. 3. Let go of discomfort in all its forms. By the time you've reached your 60s, or 70s, or even 80s, you've earned the right to never wear anything uncomfortable again. Truly. If it pinches, squeezes, scratches, digs, or makes you want to take it off the moment you get home, let it go. I'm talking about shoes that make your feet ache, tight jeans you wore once and couldn't breathe in, Spanx, push-up bras, dresses that ride up or slip down, jewelry that's too heavy, and yes, even that fancy outfit you're saving for a special occasion that never seems to come. Why are we still dressing for a version of ourselves from 20 years ago? Why are we still chasing approval from people who are probably too busy with their own lives to notice? Comfort isn't laziness. Comfort is self-respect. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I love myself enough not to suffer in the name of fashion, or expectations, or appearances. And it goes beyond clothing. Comfort also means letting go of physical environments that stress you out. Loud restaurants, long lines, crowded events. It's okay to say no. It's okay to leave early. It's okay to stay home and enjoy your own company instead. Comfort also means relationships. That person who drains you emotionally? The one who always has something critical to say? The friend who only calls when she needs something? You don't owe anyone your presence if it costs you your peace. Think about how many years you spent adjusting, adapting, and putting others first. Think about how often you bit your tongue, wore the outfit, showed up with a smile, all while ignoring your own discomfort. You don't have to do that anymore. You are not here to squeeze into anyone's expectations. You are here to expand into who you really are. There's a special kind of freedom in surrounding yourself only with what feels good. Soft clothes, cozy spaces, calm people, warm meals, real conversations. That is not selfish. That is wise. And no, it doesn't mean you give up on beauty or elegance. You can still feel beautiful and be comfortable. You can still look your best without sacrificing your back, your feet, or your nerves. A beautiful life is not one that looks perfect from the outside. A beautiful life is one where you feel at home inside your own skin. So take off the heels. Give away the scratchy sweaters. Skip the party if you want to. Let go of the discomfort, all of it. Because comfort is not the enemy of aging. It is the reward. 4. Let go of trying to be who you used to be. There is a certain quiet sadness that sometimes shows up when we look back. You know the one. It is not loud, it is not dramatic. It is gentle and almost invisible, but it is there. It might come when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and think, that is not how I remember myself. Or when you pull out an old photo album, and there she is, that younger version of you. The woman with bright eyes, smooth skin, and a body that moved faster and slept better. You stare at her for a moment and you wonder, where did she go? I know that feeling. I have heard it whispered in so many conversations. I just do not feel like myself anymore. And while I understand that completely, I want to tell you something that I hope you will carry close to your heart. You are not her anymore. And that is not a tragedy. That is a triumph. You were not meant to stay the same. None of us were. Life moves us forward. It shapes us, softens us, stretches us. It breaks us open and fills us with deeper things, deeper love, deeper knowing, deeper peace. The woman you used to be, she was strong. She did what she had to do. She pushed through hard things. She built a life. She took care of others. She fought battles no one else saw. And she got you here. But you are not supposed to go back to her. You're supposed to honor her and then let her rest. Because now you are someone new, someone wiser, someone gentler, someone who carries the beauty of age, not the airbrushed version that magazines sell us, but the real beauty. The beauty of being seasoned, experienced, unapologetically alive. Trying to become who you used to be is like trying to fit into a pair of shoes from 30 years ago. They might look familiar, but they are not made for the path you are walking now. So, what would happen if you stopped trying to rewind? What would open up in your life if you stopped chasing the old you and started fully embracing the woman you are today? I can tell you what would happen. You would breathe easier. You would smile more. You would stop apologizing for soft arms and laugh lines. You would walk into a room with confidence, not because you are trying to be younger, but because you are proud of being you. And listen, this is not about giving up. It is not about letting yourself go. It is about letting yourself grow. Growth is not always glamorous, but it is real, and it is powerful. You do not need to look like you did at 35 to be beautiful. You do not need to have the same energy you had at 45 to be vibrant. Your worth is not shrinking with time. If anything, it is deepening. Because now you know what matters. You are not caught up in impressing people who do not care. You are not performing. You are present. And that is what makes you radiant. You have learned how to forgive, how to endure, how to laugh when it is hard, how to say no without guilt. These are not things you knew how to do when you were younger. These are things you earned. So let go of the comparisons. Let go of the photo in your mind. Let go of the idea that aging is losing. It is not. Aging is becoming. Let your younger self be your foundation, not your destination. Let her cheer you on from the past while you step forward into the rest of your life. Not trying to be her again, but becoming someone even more whole. You are not broken. You are blooming in a new season with new colors and a new kind of beauty. And anyone who cannot see that, let them go too. 5. Let go of apologizing for who you are. How many times in your life have you said, "I'm sorry," when you were not truly sorry? "I'm sorry. I talk too much. I'm sorry I look a mess. I'm sorry this might sound silly. I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry I need help. I'm sorry I can't make it." Over the years, many women, especially women of your generation, were taught to apologize simply for taking up space, for asking questions, for having emotions, for expressing needs, for not being agreeable all the time. Somewhere along the line, "I'm sorry" became a way to soften your presence, to make yourself smaller so others could be more comfortable. But let me ask you this, with love and sincerity, why should you apologize for being a full human being? Why should you apologize for having opinions, boundaries, or a voice? You have lived long enough to know who you are. You have carried people through illness. You have worked jobs that never paid you what you deserved. You have smiled through grief, bitten your tongue during conflict, and kept peace in homes where no one thanked you for it. You have stayed up with sick children. You have cooked meals on days you could barely stand. You have shown up again and again, even when you were tired, hurt, or unappreciated. So what in the world are you apologizing for? You do not owe the world an apology for being human. You do not owe anyone an apology for aging, gaining weight, speaking your mind, or needing rest. You are not a burden. You are not too much. You are not in the way. And if you have ever been made to feel like you were, that is not your fault. That is someone else's discomfort, trying to make its way into your self-worth. Do not let it in. Now, I am not talking about kindness. I am not saying we should never say "I'm sorry" when we truly hurt someone. Apologies, when honest and necessary, are powerful. They heal. They restore. But what I am talking about here is a different kind of apology. The kind you say automatically. The kind that slips out before you even think. The kind you say just to keep the peace, or make someone else feel better, or because you have been trained to put yourself second. That kind of apologizing, it chips away at you over time. It teaches you to hesitate before you speak. It teaches you to question your feelings. And worst of all, it teaches you that your presence, your voice, your truth, is something that needs permission. But it is not. You are not here to please everyone. You are not here to be quiet, convenient, or invisible. You are here to be you, fully and without apology. So what does it look like to stop over-apologizing? It looks like saying, "No, thank you," without explaining. It looks like speaking up in a group, even if your voice shakes. It looks like dressing in what feels good, not what others expect. It looks like choosing yourself, even if that choice makes someone else uncomfortable. It looks like living with dignity instead of constantly seeking permission to take up space. There is nothing selfish about that. That is self-respect, and you have earned it. You have earned the right to laugh too loudly, to take the last piece of cake, to correct someone when they misjudge you, to sit down when you are tired, to walk away when something no longer feels right. You have earned the right to say, "This is who I am, and I am not sorry for it." There is a certain power that comes with age, the kind of power that does not need to shout. It simply is. But you only get to live in that power when you stop shrinking, when you stop apologizing, when you start honoring who you have become. And I know this might take time. These habits run deep, but you can start slowly. The next time you feel an apology rising up for something that does not truly need one, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, did I really do something wrong? Or am I just afraid of being misunderstood? Then choose your words from a place of truth, not fear. Because the truth is, you do not owe anyone an explanation for living in your fullness, for having a strong opinion, for making a different choice, for aging naturally, for needing rest, for being a woman who has survived and come out stronger, softer, and smarter on the other side. So let go of that heavy reflex to apologize every time you are seen. Let go of the fear of being judged for being real. Let go of the guilt that never belonged to you in the first place. You are not too loud. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You are just finally enough, exactly as you are. 6. Let go of the fear of being alone. This one is tender. It is not always spoken out loud, but it lives quietly in the hearts of many women, especially after 60. It shows up in the evening hours when the house is still and the phone does not ring. It sneaks in during holidays when the table has more empty seats than it used to. It appears in the moments after the loss of a partner, or after the end of a long marriage, when routines are broken and silence feels too loud. There is this idea, planted long ago, that being alone means being unloved, that if no one is by your side, it must mean something is missing, something is wrong. But I want to gently challenge that idea, because here is the truth spoken with care. Being alone does not mean you are less. It does not mean you are forgotten. It does not mean you are failing. It means you are walking with yourself. And that, my friend, is a sacred journey. Now, I know it is not always easy. We are wired for connection. We long for companionship, someone to drink coffee with in the morning, someone to talk with at dinner, someone who knows our stories without needing to ask. And yes, romantic love can be beautiful. I hope, if it finds you again, it is kind, steady, and full of peace. But being alone is not the same as being lonely. Solitude is not something to fear. In fact, it can be one of the most powerful and healing seasons of your life, if you allow it to be. Because when you are alone, you hear your own voice again. You remember what you enjoy, not what someone else needed or expected. You discover that you can cook a meal just for yourself and enjoy every bite. You realize that going to the movies alone is not sad. It is liberating. You notice the sunrise again, the birdsong, the soft quiet of your own presence. There is a strength that grows in solitude, a deep-rooted knowing that says, I can stand, I can breathe, I can belong to myself. You begin to understand that your value has never come from being chosen by someone else. It comes from choosing yourself over and over with care. So many women stay in unhappy relationships out of fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of what people might think. But what if the loneliness inside a bad relationship is worse than the stillness of being alone? What if the greatest love story of your life is the one you write with yourself? In these later years, not in desperation, but in dignity, you can fill your days with beauty even in solitude. You can surround yourself with friends, with nature, with music, with books, with meaningful purpose. You can find connection in small sacred ways, a conversation on a park bench, a shared smile with a stranger, a warm meal cooked just because you deserve it. And if you do long for partnership, if your heart still hopes for someone to share this season of life with, that is beautiful too. There is no shame in desiring love, but let that love find you standing tall, not shrinking in fear. Let it meet you as someone whole, not someone waiting to be rescued, because the truth is, you are not waiting. You are living. Let go of the fear that being alone means something is wrong. Let go of the belief that your worth is tied to your relationship status. Let go of the voice that says, no one will understand you or see you or care. You understand you. You see you. You care. And that is the beginning of everything. You are not alone because you are unlovable. You are alone because this is a sacred, spacious moment in your life. A chapter that is quieter, yes, but also deeper, more honest, more yours. So light the candle anyway. Make the dinner anyway. Put on the music anyway. You do not need someone else to make this life beautiful. You already have everything you need within you. Let solitude be your sanctuary, not your sentence. Because you, my dear, are never truly alone. You have yourself, and that is a magnificent thing. So, my dear friend, these 6 things we talked about today, they are not small. Letting go is never easy. Not of roles we have played, not of stories we have carried, not of the expectations that were never really ours to begin with. But the truth is, life after 60 is not about holding on tighter. It is about loosening the grip. It is about releasing the weight, the invisible burdens that have sat on your shoulders for far too long. The need for permission, the clutter that crowds your space and your spirit, the discomfort that wears you down, the image of who you used to be, the apologies that are no longer necessary, and yes, the fear of being alone. You do not need any of that to move forward. In fact, you will move lighter without it, because now is the time to live with more ease, more honesty, more joy that is not filtered through anyone else's approval. You have already proven yourself in more ways than most will ever understand. You have earned the right to live boldly and rest freely, to speak softly or loudly, to sit still or move forward, to begin again, as many times as you need. This life of yours, it is not over. It is opening. And the beauty of it all is this: the more you let go, the more space you create for what truly matters: peace, connection, clarity, and joy. So wherever you are listening from today, I want you to know, I am proud of you for all the ways you have carried yourself this far, and for all the ways you are learning to let go. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are right on time. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself.